Hello, and of course, The Truth Show. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. I want to make sure, just let me know in the comment section you guys can hear me. I want to be sitting up here talking to myself here. In the comment section. It says here that you guys are we even surprised on what's going on? I'm hoping that this buffering or whatever's going on here stops and we can have a solid show. So let me know. I have to update my... Okay, so here. Okay, now I'm seeing something. I couldn't see anything. There was some... It looked like there's some buffering going on here. I'm not even sure why there's buffering. Had a scratch in my throat. Sorry about that. Ashanti, how y'all doing? I see some vets here. Welcome to the live, to the bottom of the description box, and subscribe for my other channels as well, and my blog that I do post on. I get very private with that. I don't post on there a lot. They really don't want me to talk about what I'm talking about today. They are really doing this right now. Unbelievable. Okay. Okay. This whole technical difficulty part in my Patreon. And the link is below if you guys need to get the link to my Patreon, okay? Because they're definitely interfering with this feed here. They are definitely interfering with the feed. And I'm not surprised with that. Just a second here. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on here. Anyway, let me just continue here. Move right along here. Okay. It seems that Janet Jackson has never forgotten her brother Michael's, her late brother Michael's, and his cruel taunts. Okay. She states that there were times when Michael used to tease her and call her, names such as a pig horse, a slaughter hog, and a cow when she was around 11 years old. And they will laugh about it. Brother and sister banter, no big deal. But Janet also states that somewhere down inside, it did start to hurt her feelings. So if you didn't catch that, Janet Jackson left a little bit intimate details out of the documentary. Well, I don't know if the network cut that part out, but she did speak to Star, and she said that, Michael Jackson used to talk about her weight, used to call her hog, mog, and all kinds of stuff, pig horse, because she was a little chubby. She said it was just my brother and sister banter, but later on down the line, it really started to hurt her feelings and may have affected her mentally and emotionally as well. At least that's what she said, but she knew that Michael Jackson was just playing, but that's what she revealed. She revealed a little bit more things as well. Now, she also reveals her feelings about her late brother Michael's trial as well, and she states, okay, pay attention. Publicly, Janet has maintained, this is what they're saying, publicly Janet has maintained that she believes her brother is innocent of molesting young boys. She states, and I quote, "I know my brother. He didn't have that in him. He would never do something like that." So she, her brothers, the family, me, and many other people believe in Michael Jackson innocent, and she believes in his innocence as well. And she made that abundantly clear pretty much throughout the entire trial. She was even showing up at some of the trial dates. So she was definitely standing by her brother right along with the rest of his siblings. So they was definitely standing by him throughout the entire trial. Okay. However, she did have some concerns though about him inviting young boys for sleepovers at his Neverland Ranch. But she states, and I believe, and I believe her. I mean, I would more than likely say the same thing, and I think the same thing as well. She says, and I quote, "Michael had a truly childlike outlook on life, but he also craved love and affection, and those kids idolized him. So she was saying that he was seeking some love and affection, and the kids gave him that childlike love, affection, not sexualized. He knew the damn difference, but it did give him some comfort because he worked all of his life, his entire life, and not to mention being crucified and taunted and victimized, and oh gosh, she definitely got lynched by the media and the press. I mean, it was not I don't even want to get into details, but they really slaughtered this man in the press, really slaughtered him. So that's a little bit comfort that he had, but he wasn't a pedophile. A lot of people have said that. I even read some little interviews. This is back in the day, whereas his cooks, his drivers, friends, stage mates, who also said that Michael Jackson had girls. He liked women. He used to invite women over. Not over, but he had dates. He liked women. He was a huge fan of Beyonce. But he liked women. Women, not girls or boys. He liked women. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, yeah, that's what that was. Moving right along here. Okay, now, despite those concerns, she still states and believes Michael was innocent and he loved women. And I can't say that again. Not boys or men, okay? He just had a childlike attitude when it came to fun, but he wasn't a pedophile. A lot of people who know him personally say he just had a childlike attitude, roller coasters and animals and racing on, on the tracks or whatever it is the kids do. I have no idea. I didn't really have so much of a playful childhood. I did have a childhood, but it wasn't that playful, and I really don't care. But that's just my perspective on it. So he definitely knew the difference, and he definitely had that childlike attitude, and we all have that. We don't mind getting on the swing and swing, or going to the park, Disney World, and getting on the rides and acting like big kids. We all have that in us, and I'm sure he wasn't like that all the time, but he definitely had those moments, and we all have those moments. Okay, although certain things I don't agree with him, but I'm not bringing that up right now. No kids are sleeping in my damn bed. They can go sleep on the couch or have a fort on the floor or something, but they won't not be sleeping with me or in my room. That I would not be doing, okay? But that's just my personal opinion about the whole situation. Even though I did read that he wasn't sleeping in the bed with him, he was sleeping on the floor and he gave them his bed. But that's a whole nother subject, but that's what I read someplace. Okay. Oh, this picture here, he had a huge fan. I mean, he had a huge fan. He was a huge fan of Beyonce. He really liked Beyonce. He wanted to get with Beyonce. But Beyonce at the time was already been maxed by Jay-Z. So, and she was full throttle, nose open, tunnel vision to Jay-Z apparently. And didn't even notice. I wonder if she noticed Michael Jackson advances. Or was she turned off because of his skin and nose and stuff and all the rumors? I don't know, but they would have been one hell of a power couple. I wonder if they would have gotten together and she got past all of that. I wonder if he would have still been alive today, because her influence on him would have changed his outlook and gave him that kind of security blanket or outlook. I don't know. Then again, Beyonce is starting to act a little bit detached from reality as well. So I don't even know. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. That is definitely a question that's been pondering in my brain. If I'm going all over the place, because I'm really tired, seriously. So I'm going to try to get to this, okay? All right. Now, as you heard about the case back in 1993, 13-year-old Jordan Chandler filed a civil suit against Michael, claiming that Michael committed repeatedly sexual battery on him several times, as per advice from his lawyers. Michael settled with, the family for $20 million. So before it got out of control, he settled with the family for $20 million because that's what they wanted in the first place. That was a really bad move, but a lot of lawyers like to do that anyway, and they suggest doing that to a lot of stars who is being cornered and pointed out for money. You see a lot of them are going through that right now. You have Chris Brown, you have Trey Songz. The list is going on. And you notice the race of these individuals, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But that's going on now, especially with money and poverty that's been seriously on the spike, and homelessness has been on the spike. I want to get into that right now, but that is something that's definitely have not been talked about, but it's definitely is a problem right now. Okay, now, as I was stating, people trying to embezzle with these alleged rumors and accusations. You probably remember R. Kelly. You know, he had settled out of court as well, which I just said was a huge mistake, because all it does is attract more greedy, racist, lying hoo-has to want more and jump on the bandwagon of whatever unproven story that they may have. All of these women had accusations about R. Kelly, but none of them had no solid proof, no connected flights, maybe a couple pictures. That's all they had. The only person who had a personal contact with them, with R. Kelly, this is kind of getting off the subject, but it's kind of the subject, was his ex-wife, and I believe some people who did some duets with him. All the rest of these girls were just girlfriends who were probably too young to hang around him anyway, but he didn't force them to be around him. But that's a whole nother subject in terms of R. Kelly. We can debate about that all day long, because I'm sure most of you have different ill feelings when it comes to him, you know. But that's kind of a similar story when it comes to Michael Jackson as well. Because 10 years later, because he buried that other stuff and just gave him money to keep him quiet, 10 years later, and constant accusations and attacks to Michael, you see, Michael was constantly racially profiled and lynched by the media, as I stated, by the media, the press, and his peers. He almost slipped and said this in many interviews. I mean, they wanted Michael Jackson badly because he was just way too powerful and too many people idolizing him, you know, of all races all over the world. They didn't like a black man having that kind of power. They just didn't. I mean, overclouding our man Elvis. What's going on, Michael? He was up there with Elvis, and they really did not like that. And we already heard the rumors about Elvis, so we're not going to go in there right now, but you guys get my point, okay? So he was definitely targeted, and he was definitely lynched by the media over and over and over and over and over again. It was hard to watch. Really hard to watch. Okay. However, 10 years later, he was formally charged by Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department with child molestation following a raid on Neverland. He was later released on a $3 million bail, and in 2005, he said he had enough. He wasn't settling, you know, out of court, and decided to quietly, he tried to, because they wanted to quietly settle with him. Like, let's go ahead and settle again, Michael. Give him $10 million, whatever. No, I mean, my reputation is ruined. I'm not making all of millions like I used to because of the settlement I did back in, 2003 or whatever year that was. No, I'm not doing it. So he went to court and dealt with an embarrassing public trial. It was very embarrassing, but he wasn't going to settle because he didn't do it. He just settled because that's what his lawyers told him to do, which was very stupid. He shouldn't have done that. He really shouldn't have done that. Because a young cancer survivor, Gavin Arvizo, may have mispronounced his last name, testified that Michael, who had befriended him and served him alcohol that he called his Jesus juice, and Michael made him do things to him. And note that no one has ever seen Michael Jackson drink any alcohol, not even his relatives. But let me continue. Furthermore, with no solid evidence, no paper trail, no witnesses, just this young boy's story, Michael was acquitted of all charges, especially after this got leaked. Take a listen to this. This is what they try to keep erasing off the media, but I kept it in a really private file, but they tried to get rid of this recording of this particular incident. Take a listen. And he was not guilty, by the way. Here's the recording. Listen to this.
Meanwhile, CBS obtained a secretly taped phone conversation allegedly between the father of the boy who accused Jackson of sexual abuse and the boy's stepfather. Listen to this.
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. He will not believe it. He will not believe what's going to happen. Beyond his worst nightmares. So one more record. If I go through with this, I win big time. I will get everything I want. There will be destroyed forever.
Jackson's private investigator says the tapes prove that Jackson is telling the truth about his accusers, just wanting money.
That's just the vibe between me and my representative. I don't talk to my lawyer, my attorney. I talk to him and he talks to them. That's not good. I know it's not good. I don't like it. And I was just about in there with him.
Meanwhile,
I'll play it again for you guys just in case y'all missed it.
Conversation allegedly between the father of the boy who accused Jackson of sexual abuse and the boy's stepfather. Listen to this.
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. He will not believe it. He will not believe what's going to happen. Beyond his worst nightmares. So one more record. If I go through with this, I win big time. I will get everything I want. They will be destroyed forever.
Jackson's private investigator says the tapes prove that Jackson is telling the truth about his accusers just wanting money.
That's just the vibe between me and my representative. I don't talk to my man, my parents. I talk to him and he talks to them. That's not good. I know it's not true. I don't like it. And I was just about email with him, and I know it's trust. I don't know what's in my accounts. I don't know. Oh, that's not good, Michael. I know it's not.
He was saying they froze his accounts and they blocked him from getting his money from his accounts. Yeah, I'm telling you, they were really... See, as you heard a recording. This is why that case lost of that man doing this. This is what he was paid to do. You know what I mean? He wanted money from him. They even tried to get, the man who played Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They tried to get him, because he used to hang around Michael Jackson as well. They tried to get his father to get him to tell his son that he was molested by Michael too. There was a rumor with Bill Cosby where this young lady was approached by two white men from a network who wanted to pay her to set Bill Cosby up with semen, pregnancy, the whole 9 yards, but she said she wasn't doing it. You know, you guys don't know how far they will go to try to crucify the black man. Y'all think that's because the media present a nice little case for you. You think it's real and it's all great, but it could be all smoke and mirrors. Same thing with the Kardashians and this whole Kanye West situation. The Kardashians are queens and royalty when it comes to media manipulation. They know how to twist the media. Remember, I'm getting off the subject, but I just want to give you an example how they try to twist media into their favor to make themselves look like the victim and the other person look like this villain or whatever. Okay, you remember back when Kim Kardashian was robbed, right? She was robbed in Paris, and Kanye was going through this little separation, I think, with Tidal and Jay-Z, and he had to release that last album to kind of end the strings between them two, and he was going through that. He was going through his tour, and all this stuff was going on, and he hears his wife got robbed, and she's hysterical, and at gunpoint, that would send any man over the edge. So, anyway... So he was upset. He had to end the concert. I think he even spat out a few times online. He had to end the concert. He had to go see her. And they had a huge fight or something. I heard that he kind of stormed out and he went to the gym. Kris Jenner sent a doctor or something to Kanye West. And this doctor, who was appointed by Kris Jenner, okay, said that he was having some mental breakdown and stuff. And that's how that freaking whole rumor came out about his mental issues. The Kardashians planted, even though he may have had breakups, but have you been in the music industry? Do you have to deal with the crap he has to deal with? Losing a parent and dealing with all the shit from the music industry and everything else. It can't be easy. Not giving him an excuse, but we all have mental issues at some point. Anyways, that's how that rumor pretty much got started by him having mental issues. The Kardashians painted that, and Kim Kardashian milked it periodically throughout the year since that moment. And now what she's doing, when he's trying to record an album, he's supposed to be playing for Coachella as well, and he's doing tours. He's still on tour. And he's supposed to be doing some project for a couple other artists. And he's going through a freaking divorce. She trying to hip this freaking divorce on him in the midst of him doing all of this because she want her way. He said online, he said, I'm not letting this single thing go through because she trying to take properties that we got together. She trying to take everything and some other stuff. He's like, no, I would deal with this divorce when I'm done, when I'm through with this touring and all this stuff, then I deal with this divorce. She trying to get at me when I'm busy because I can't think right now. You guys got to think like the Kardashians. Kim is playing a victim role. She want to be single so she can get child support, the houses they had together, and whatever settlement they had within that divorce, so she can rock that single life like it's nobody's business. That's what she's going to do. She don't care about Pete. She only using Pete just for a distraction to make it seem like she's moving on, but she don't care about Pete. She don't. They just friends, and I don't even think they even bone. But just using that as example, how media can manipulate things and how certain people have the gift, so to speak, to manipulate media. Stop believing everything you see because they deliver it in a sweet little package. Stop doing that. You have no idea. Sometimes you have to read between the lines, like, what are they really distracting us from? You know what I mean? But I just want to say that and get that out of the way. But let me continue here, okay? Anyway, after that whole trial, even though he was acquitted of all his charges, as we know, his career and himself, he wasn't the same since. The media had already painted him as a molester, and of course, the truth came to reveal how far white supremacists would go to prosecute a black man, because it came later that these boys was actually lying. Even the recent ones, the court threw it out because they wanted to go in and ask for $10 million after they got him after he was dead, even though they tried to charge him when he was alive, and they got dismissed then too. But then they waited years after Michael Jackson was dead to come up with this Leaving Neverland or some bull crap, and they won. And then recently they tried to go in and try to sue the state again, and the judge threw it out because they were lying. They were lying. And that's something you should not play with, because me being a victim of that as well, a true victim, that's not something you will play with. I mean, they will reap what they sow, but you should never lie on people. I mean, it's not something to play with. You know what I mean? It's not something you would freaking play with. But let me move forward here. So his career was never the same again. He was never the same again. But after that, he started speaking the truth about a lot of things. He started speaking the truth about Sony and that whole relationship. He said something about Princess Diana as well. If you read back in his interviews, it's all on TikTok. You could probably watch all this on TikTok. But he said something about Diana, Princess Diana, and the whole thing there, and his conversation he had with her. His life was never the same. Never the same. They ruined his image. It was over. It was over. I mean, he was making money, but but y'all know the deal. Yeah. It was bad. But they did the same thing with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby has some affiliation with Hugh Hefner. I'm not sure what affiliation he had, but judging from what I read, that he only went to Hugh Hefner mansion because every time he tried to stay at public hotels or fancy hotels, he always get threats on his life or people trying to invade his privacy. You gotta understand, Bill Cosby had a huge target on his head because he was changing the face of black television and the face of black people. Instead of us being little minority domestic, he was making us, people of really prestigious careers and intelligent people. All of us don't have that stigma as we are painted. He was trying to change that, and they did not like that. Not to mention, he was America's favorite dad, and he was a black man, so that was definitely a really bad thing. And being quoted in many TV shows and stuff like that, they really hated him. And he was making a lot of money, and not to mention he wanted to buy NBC, and he was close to getting it. Including as soon as he was ready to go ahead and say, okay, I have these banks in my back, on my profile, on my resume, I have them ready to give me these loans, can we do this? The scandal falls into his lap again. So, and there was no proof of any of these alleged things. He only stayed at Hugh Hefner because he was able to stay there under the radar without being targeted. I mean, the man was being targeted so bad, he even vouched to never go to award programs anymore. He said, don't even nominate me anymore in these award programs because I don't want to be in a competition and I want people trying to come at me because I win an award. So he vouched his name to not, in his show, to not even be listed as any award. Well, himself anyway. That's how bad it was for him. He didn't speak about it, but that's how bad it was. Anyway, so as you know, they wanted Michael Jackson bad, whether it was dead or alive, and we know how that ended. They even hired some overseas black man, Conrad Murray, who didn't know what he was doing, to take the blame for his death. And this is all just to set up before Michael's death. Janet was getting lynched as well for her nipple slip. Now, I have to admit, I don't know if the nipple slip was planned or not. I have no idea. She never really gave any clear explanation if it was planned. I don't even think I even heard her say it was a wardrobe malfunction. She just said it was an accident or something. I don't really know. And I don't really care, honestly. It was just a few seconds anyway. But I'm still on the fence whether it was planned or not. It probably was an accident. I'm not going to even speak too much about that because I do have my doubts. I'm not going to even lie about the whole nipple slip, but I'm going to let that go right now. You know. Anyway. Moving right along here. Yeah, you understand they had a list, and the Jackson family was on the top of that list. And Janet was guilty by association, but she never blamed her brother, and she retained his innocence. Even though she was targeted because he was being targeted, she never, you know, did a LaToya or anything of the nature. She retained his innocence, that he was innocent. This is not my brother. I believe all the other brothers did that as well. This is my brother. He did not do that. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Only person who may have slipped a little bit was LaToya, but she retained his innocence, and she has not changed her vouch for her brother. She said he would never do anything like that. He is not a pedophile. So, and she would know. She was young, so she would definitely know. She was there. But yeah, and all other brothers vouched for her as well, and a lot of people who knew Michael vouched for him as well. Okay. Alright, my commentary about this whole thing. The Janet Jackson situation, the nipple slip, I'm on the fence about. Because she had the nipple jewelry. I know people use nipple jewelry. And her bra was attached. It was the red bra. But it was attached to the whatever costume she had. But it wasn't. But it was attached to the costume. It wasn't two separate, you know, attachments. You know, her bra, you have a bra. You know, I have a bra. It's a bra. And then I have this, but they're not attached together. So he just pulled that, but you would still see my bra, right? Her costume was attached to her bra. And then she had the nipple ring. See, that's the only part that I always had confusion with. You know? Was it planned or was it just a huge accident? I know I'm going back to what I said, but I had time to analyze it a little bit more. I know that Justin Timberlake was hot-headed at the time. His group was on fire. He was getting ready for his solo album and everything. And he was doing that. They was going through the whole Britney Spears thing. Anyway, and I know he didn't have time to make for rehearsals. Well, he did have time. He just didn't want to go to rehearsals. And now he had this huge sexual attraction toward Janet Jackson. I mean, the boy was young, hot-headed, and horny. But anyway, and I know he didn't know what to do. But I don't know. It just, that whole thing is just confusing to me. I would never understand that, the whole thing. I would never understand how he was. I'm just going to let it go because I'm getting a headache, okay? Because I just don't understand. Okay, let's move on to what you guys are looking for, the Ukraine war. I did a TikTok video about this. I hope you guys are following my TikTok page. I broke it down in detail, okay? As we all know, Ukraine is at war. Well, before I go any further, take a look at the TikTok video. I'm going to let you guys check it out.
The war in Ukraine is serious, and we should take it seriously. Something Biden tried to stop, because Putin is trying to end the connection we have with Ukraine, because his little 12% oil runs through the Ukraine via pipelines to the U.S. and the rest of the world, except Africa. Ukraine and Saudi Arabia are also top oil suppliers as well. We have an alliance with them too, except Russia and then again Africa. Oh, and China. Hence those oil fires in the ocean. If Russia wins Ukraine, meaning he'd be one step closer to taking over the U.S. They're saying allegedly that Trump and Putin had a deal before he left the White House to go to war if the truth of Russia and Trump's dealing comes out. Biden just ordered Trump's logbook for the White House to be looked at. Trump and the GOP are scared that Biden will win the re-election at the expense of Trump's downfall. So not suspiciously, they're blaming Biden for the war. I say checkmate for the GOP. But this may backfire. You see, Russia was upset at the U.S. for its triumph in Afghanistan, another place where we get our oil and other resources from. The U.S. did so well, whereas they transported some of Afghanistan's people here in the U.S., but sent back our people in Haiti, who invested millions in disaster relief with the U.S., hence why the Haiti people were sent in the first place. But I ignored that for now. Anyway, You see, if Putin wins the war in Ukraine, where we had a solid Atlantic treaty with, hence the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, aka NATO, NATO, meaning we have a political military alliance with, among other reasons, such as oil and other resources, and Russia takes it over, that means the U.S. infrastructure will be screwed along with the rest of the world, except Africa and, of course, China. Because everyone was a part of the treaty except, again, Russia, and again, not surprisingly, China, Africa, whatever, which has its own resources. If Ukraine can't stop this war, then the U.S. and everyone who's a part of the treaty would have to send their troops into battle to help with the fight, hence the agreement of the treaty. This is what Biden was trying to stop, aside from the fact that the U.S. had already sent some of their troops. The start of World War III could last for years, and conveniently the Queen is currently sick with COVID. Oh, I'm not done yet. Guess who recently took a meeting with the Queen not too long before she got ill? Bill Gates, oh yes. Who also was a part of that recent energy deal that Prince Charles, Prince William, and Kate and Camilla had gone to. You see, if the Queen dies and Prince Charles takes the throne, who is known to be gullible, well, you can imagine what will happen next. We all need to pray for Ukraine, pray they win, and this war ends before it gets bad. Stay tuned for part 2.
Alrighty, there you go. Now, despite all of this, they are saying that Ukraine isn't part of NATO, NATO, okay? That's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. They're saying that Ukraine is not a part of it. Well, that's not the truth, okay? Because if it wasn't, the efforts that are being prepared for battle and has happened would not be happening. You know, the efforts that America and the rest of the members of the treaty are making. Why would they even go through all that? You know, out of kindness of their hearts? I mean, not really. So, they are a part of the treaty. This is one, well, Ukraine is part of the treaty. This is one step into hoping Russia will halt and just hold back this firearm or whatever the heck he's doing. And he explained what he wants because he's not telling us what he wants. They have scenarios online and I tried to read them, but everyone is just in the assumption and guessing game. No one knows what Putin wants. We don't know. The White House doesn't know. At least they're not telling us anyway. But as you can see here, in verbatim, relationships between Ukraine and NATO were formally established in 1992 when Ukraine joined the North Atlantic Cooperation Council after regaining its independence. A few years later, in 1994, Ukraine was the first post-Soviet Union to blah, 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 blah. So as you can see, yes, Ukraine is a part of it. That's what they're doing. They're doing the sanctions and the banks and stuff like that. They don't want to send in their troops. That's kind of the last resort because you're dealing with people's lives here versus freezing bank accounts. But they're preparing to send in troops. They don't want to, but it may have to be done. My husband is calling at the moment. I can't even speak to him. Oh, I can't speak to him right now. Shit. Damn it. Hold on for a second. Yeah, just, freaking A. I'm going to answer this call on live. You're going to hear me speak to my husband, okay? Babe?
Hello?
I'm currently live at the moment, so please don't say anything personal, but what's up?
I was just asking if you want subs.
Sure. We'll take some subs.
Alright.
Okay, bye.
Alright.
Sorry about that. Okay. Again, as you can see, proof here. And I'm saying this because people were trolling my TikTok. Well, they're not a part of the NATO, so the only thing we can do sanctions. He is part of the NATO. There was some confusion of when he joined it. You know, the whole organization for military backup and things of that nature. It was some confusion. You probably read in the blogs and things of that nature. But Ukraine is a part of it. He is. But sending in troops is the last result. So they going through the, you know, freezing bank accounts and their connections and tripling his stock and, well, not tripling it, but plummeting his stock. And he's really fucked up. I mean, have you saw his stock and his numbers in Russia? They hitting him hard, for real. And they're hoping he back off from that because they breaking him. He's losing his shirt, put it in layman terms. That's what the members are doing for the Ukraine. Sending in troops is the last resort. They don't want to do that because right now Russia is not really hitting citizens. They're not attacking citizens at the moment. Well, I haven't read it in a few hours or so, but still, they're not really attacking citizens. But as you probably heard, matter of fact, I'm gonna just take a listen to this, you guys. Listen to this.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences. Today, I'm authorizing additional strong sanctions and new limitations on what can be exported to Russia. This is going to impose severe cost on the Russian economy, both immediately and over time. We have purposely designed these sanctions to maximize the long-term impact on Russia and to minimize the impact on the United States and our allies. And I want to be clear, the United States is not doing this alone. For months, we've been building a coalition of partners representing well more than half the global economy. 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and many others.
That's what he's talking about. Told you. This is what you're aligning for. You don't go in for a throttle. Everybody die. You don't do that. You ease into this. The last thing you want to do is put your soldiers out there, and nobody wants that, man. So we just got to pray that Putin talks about what he wants and why is he doing this, because he's not making any freaking sense. As you heard from the video, he only gives us about 12% oil. And Ukraine is like the base where the pipelines are running through their country for the rest of the world, so to speak, And they have oil too. We get oil from them as well. And he needs that kind of connection. Now, I don't know why he's doing this, because it don't really make sense. Other than the fact that only thing I can research is that within the last years, his prices of oil have gone up to almost $100 per barrel. No one knows why he's doing this. I guess ever since the downfall of Donald Trump's presidency and him not being reelected, so to speak, and they had this kind of alliance or whatever agreement Trump had with Russia. No one knows what agreement he had with Russia. We just know they had some kind of connection. But his prices of his oil has been going up exponentially. I mean, $100 for I can't even talk. $100 per freaking barrel. Who would charge that amount? I mean, is he going broke over there? Is there a climate change, or is he running out of oil? No one knows why he's doing this, okay? Because $100 per barrel is ridiculous. And he's been doing this within the last few years. He's been going up and up and up and up and up. And now all of a sudden he won a war. That's the part that's really screwing Biden and all the rest of the party up, because they're saying, okay, we try. You saw the whole news clip where he tried going down there. They tried having a meeting with Putin to figure out what he wanted. Biden left out of there so pissed off. I think they caught him cussing because Putin wasn't making any sense. He wasn't giving a clear picture of what he wanted. What do you want? What is this all about? Our relationship was fine. You was getting paid. Everybody was getting paid. What's the problem? Yeah, this COVID thing is really fucked up, messing up all of our pockets. Okay, we get that. But, no one knows why Putin is doing this. It could be domination. Some people say it could be world domination, because if he takes out Ukraine, that means not only will he control his oil, he'll control where his oil is being sent. Even though it's 12%. And then he figured he could probably cripple the connections we have with the allies around the world. His main target is U.S. We are literally the hub of this whole NATO agreement. He figured if he can get rid of Ukraine, where the pipelines for the oil is being sent throughout the rest of the world, and he becomes control of that and his oil, he probably can cripple the rest of the connections and then take over the U.S. and he'd be the go-to person for oil, which means he'd be pretty much in charge of everything. This is about dominance, power, money. That's all he wants. You know, and that's probably, I probably just broke it down. I think I just figured it out. What are we living in the freaking Stone Ages now? I mean, medieval times. This is ridiculous. He's still trying to seek dominance. How old is Putin? He got to be like 60-something years old now. If he's even human. I'm going to let that go because I don't want them trying to target me. But this is about dominance. It's about power. It's about control. It's not even about money. It's about dominance, power, and control because he don't need no money. He just doing this because he want to control everything. He's tired of being left out. Why they kick? He probably like, you guys kicked me out of this whole military alliance thing and this COVID thing. You're not telling me anything. No, I want to be a part of this because they kicked Russia out. He was a part of NATO, but they kicked him out. I'm reading some comments now. What happened with Hunter Biden laptop? Didn't Biden try to pay $1 billion to the IM and they said no? Now Russia in that ass and Biden hoping that they don't release his son's child. Oh yeah, I did hear about the connection. Yeah, Biden's son tried to do some connection with Russia as well. Some money thing. I'm not even sure what it was. I didn't really get into that because, you know, the media can twist things a little bit. But if his son tries to do something with Russia, that would definitely elevate the hatred that Russia have. I mean, it's not America he's really attacking. He's attacking Ukraine. And then he's really attacking America. It's just Ukraine is first in line. But this whole thing pretty much sums down to money. It's not even nothing else to say. That's what it is. He just want money. I know he can't be that bitter of Trump's downfall, which is kind of odd because soon as Trump was getting ready to be indicted, he was getting ready to pretty much pay for everything he's done, all the slimy sleazing and willing and dealing he was doing. This whole thing happened. You know what I mean? Oh, I just go ahead and start a war for a distraction. You know, blow up some, you know, some airfields, you know, some buildings and things, some apartment buildings, you know. Get you some leeway, Trump. If this is all about Trump and him creating some freaking distraction, this is ridiculous. I don't know if that's true. This is all alleged. He probably did try to pay the UK. You gotta understand, Biden has been trying to end whatever this thing that Putin has. He's been trying to smooth the waters for some time now. But it just, no one knows why he's doing this because, again, he don't care. He tried. You know, I'm gonna be realistic here. He tried to seek dominance over the U.S. when Trump was in the White House because Trump was gullible. Remember, all kinds of Russia ties and members was all a part of Trump's whole party until it got kicked out. What Putin wasn't counting on and wasn't expecting. Okay, Trump might be in the White House, but he don't run anything. Okay, Congress, you have to go through all of these little steps and people. And Trump got investigated. His people got fired. They got indicted. They got arrested. Putin wasn't counting on those kinds of things happening. Okay, and then Trump didn't win the White House again, so he's pissed off. So he's like, okay, screw it. I can't go through it politically. I can't mess with the freaking elections anymore. And Biden up there, I damn sure not gonna do it. And a rumor that Hillary was gonna more than likely run again. He hate Hillary because Hillary don't play, whether people like her or not, but she don't play. He don't like women in that kind of power anyway. He's pretty much a bigot and a chauvinistic hoo-ha. But that didn't work out, so he's like, okay, fine. I go by force. I just ruin all your allies then. Ukraine, all of them. Forget it. Since I can't go through it that way, fine. Let's start a freaking war then. And that's exactly what he's doing. He wants the U.S. He don't want England. He don't want Japan. He want the U.S. Okay? That's what he wants. That's what he wants. Power. He wants power. But just to give you guys a clear picture of what's going on, I'm going to get a brief run through this video, and then I'm going to, I open the phone lines a little bit, but I doubt if you guys even want to even come on right now. And I'm exhausted. I've been up all day. Oh, and I got a job. Let me give you guys a good, clear insight of what's going on in my life. Remember, I quit my other job because they wanted me to take the vaccines and stuff, and I'm anti-vaccine. I don't take vaccines. But I have been working extra hard with side gigs and just read my blog. I pretty much explain it in there. So it's been really, really stressful. I'm very tired because something happened last night with my daughter. And I want to get personal because it's her privacy. So I only got like 2 hours of sleep. I'm on coffee fuel at the moment. But I was thinking I have to go live because I haven't been live in a while. And I miss you guys. So I'm really tired. But anyway, as I was stating, giving a brief review of the video. Janet Jackson spoke about her brother in the Star magazine. She said her brother used to tease her about her weight. It was just brother and sister banter at the moment. Ha ha ha. But on the long line, it started to affect her emotionally and mentally, which is expected if anyone who gets teased by their siblings, or anyone for that matter. But she says her brother was innocent. He is not a pedophile. Everyone who knew Michael said he was not a pedophile. He didn't like children like that. He just had a childlike mind. He don't see them in that way. He see them as children. He see himself as children. Just somebody to play with. That's it. In a friendly way. Not in that way. People who think that way need to look in the mirror themselves. She retained his innocence. He was innocent. Unfortunately, she got caught in line fire with her nipple slip, which I'm really questioning the whole thing. But it was blown out of proportion. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, so she was definitely targeted and blackballed for a number of years until Tyler Perry gave her that little opportunity on his movie, Why Did I Get Married? And she did an amazing job. I mean, Janet Jackson is a very good actor. She's just a talented woman altogether. People can really learn from her. And Michael Jackson was getting lynched by the media along with any other black leader who was becoming some role model and overshadowing their people. They would definitely get media lynch. I spoke about Kanye West and the manipulation the Kardashians are doing. How they were the ones who target him, but they don't want to put that mark on him as mental issues. If you go back, the Kardashians the one who put that painted label on him in terms of mental issues. Because it all started with that robbery with Kim Kardashian in Paris. They claimed he had a mental breakdown and he had to get committed. They put that out there. Kanye West just told you what they were doing. He made it know what they were doing with the Get Out, illustrations and stuff. I mean, he's honest. He told you what they were doing. The man wanted to get out away from him so bad he traveled and bought a ranch on the other side of the freaking world, off the freaking grid, just to get away from them. Kim wasn't having sex with him anyway. It's a big mess. You guys really should dig deeper into that anyway. So I told you how the Kardashians, how they're trying to manipulate the media into their favor, and Kim was trying to play the victim role, even though this is her 4th divorce, and we already know her history, okay? And this is not going to be her last divorce. She won't get married again, but this time it's going to be with someone who she can control financially, like Kris Jenner is doing right now, because now she don't need anyone for money anymore. She needs someone she can control. She can't be in control with Kanye West, and that's something she just doesn't like. But anyway, getting back to the point here. So I talked about that as well. And the Ukraine and the war with that whole situation. Yes, Ukraine is a part of NATO, although you probably heard some TikTok videos saying that he wasn't. You just heard from Biden's mouth that he's a part of the NATO. And I gave you visual proof that Ukraine is a part of it. They are taking steps on what they want to do. Sending the troops is the last resort. They don't want to do that. They're hoping they don't come to that, because then it'd be literally a war. It would be literally World War III. And that can last for years. And that can put our lives and everything in jeopardy. And they don't want to do that. So they doing it the other route and hoping he back off. So we got to pray that Putin back off and explain what the hell he wants. And they can come to some kind of agreement. Agreement that makes sense. Okay? But knowing Putin, what he wants is probably something they're just not giving. But we don't know. We just got to pray. Okay? I talked about that as well. And how the whole thing started. And how since the whole downfall of Trump, he's been kind of moving up the prices of his oil to almost $100 per freaking barrel, which is ridiculous. $100 per barrel? Really? So that's sad. That's sad. We only get like 12% from him. Most of our oil comes from Saudi Arabia. But, 12 freaking percent, he's charging $100 per barrel. So he's not telling us and why he's doing it. But anyway, that's pretty much how that whole thing started. It just about oil, money, dominance, and a whole bunch of egos running around this whole little war here. I'm done. I'm getting a headache. But that's pretty much what it is. I don't think he has mental issues either. I'm going to put my number up here. I don't think you guys will call anyway, but I'll put my number up here. But just to answer your question, no, I don't think he has mental issues either. I think there's nothing wrong with Kanye West. I think he's fine. He made it known he's fine. He's fine. I don't know how open he can tell you guys on what he's trying to do. He's delivering text messages and everything. He's telling you what they're doing. And people still saying he's crazy. He even told you why he moved across the street in the first place from her house, because his father gave that ultimatum. I'm assuming his mother said that if you come follow us in Chicago, you'll never see Kanye again. So Kanye was like, no, I'm going to be the father to fight for my kids. So I moved across the street. I'm assuming that Kim Kardashian may have said that to him at some point. I'm not sure. But that's why he moved across the street. He don't barely be there because he's working. So this whole stalking thing she's talking about is ridiculous. If y'all following the media, Kanye West been everywhere but around Kim. He's busy. And she's saying he's stalking. How is he stalking you? I'm starting to wonder if you stalking him. Are you stalking him? How do you know he's stalking you? If the whole thing is she's stalking him. That's what it is. Because every time I turn around, he's recording this. He's in the studio doing this. I think he had some concert and the sound check was really bad. So he threw the microphone and left the concert. And then, I don't know. I try to follow his story because I deliver his news. But, yeah. Kim is lying. He is not stalking me. If he calls her, it's probably because of something. Now, the whole Pete Davidson thing, if she trying to go with Pete Davidson, which I don't think she's attracted to him anyway. I don't think she's attracted to boys like him. But he is a great distraction. And he can't be controlled. But Pete Davidson is... Hi, welcome to Keisha's Gossip and Truth. This is Keisha. Who am I speaking with?
Oh my God! Hey, Keisha. This is Toshiba.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry.
Hi.
I didn't catch the pronunciation of your name. What'd you say?
Toshiba.
Toshiba. Oh, wow. Hi.
Hi. I just got off of work and I happened to click on and I saw that you was live. I'm like, oh my God, you live. And so I called in and I kind of just got in. I saw that your topic was about the war and about KISHA'S West and Kardashian.
Yeah, there's pretty much media manipulation, and he's a great subject for that kind of thing that we're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that everybody wants to act like Kanye West is crazy, but I don't think he's crazy. He's pretty smart and intelligent. It's like he said in his song and to his lyrics. He said, when you become a rich black man, they listed you as you're crazy. They got to throw something on the title.
Yeah.
Like you can't be, he's clearly a genius. Look at all the money he's making.
Yes, he clearly knows what he's doing. Yeah.
And I think Kim Kardashian, like you said, that she likes to have control over her situations. And with Kanye West, he probably was a little, probably come off a little controlling in a relationship. And you can't have two controlling people in a relationship. And with Pete Davidson, he seemed like he came up with Kim Kardashian. I mean, yeah, I used to date, what's her name? Adrena, that little pop singer. But she said she was only using him for one thing. Yeah, Ariana.
Okay.
She said she kind of only used him for one thing. So she was not over her ex when she got with him.
Yeah,
so that relationship really.
They all used him for something. All of them did. I mean, it's definitely a pattern. I mean, even it goes all the way back to Jay-Z. Jay-Z used them. I mean, when they had that whole little the Throne album. I mean, Jay-Z got how many Grammys?
Oh yeah.
How many Grammys with that duet? You know, and
you're right.
Jay-Z came up off of Kanye. I mean, he became a really big superstar for Kanye because Kanye was in the back, you know, doing the beats, and then that whole duet album they had put him in a whole another level. And he, you know how Jay-Z is now, but you know, whatever. But
yeah, they all used him, and you know what? It's so crazy because let me just tell you, Kim Kardashian, she really wasn't like a millionaire like she is now.
She was barely a millionaire.
Much ran her with Skims and everything.
Yep.
She had money, but she didn't have that much money like she has now.
No, she did not. She was on rental money, renting jets and stuff. You know, renting.
Right.
Yeah, she didn't own a lot of stuff that she owns right now until, you know, she got with Kanye West and he took her to a whole new level, made her a billionaire.
Yeah, he pretty much did, and it's like now she got what she wanted. Hey, I don't really need you no more, so I got what I wanted. All those Kardashians come off as quite users, and I don't mean to sound like I'm coming up because
You're just being honest.
I'm not racist or anything, but I just feel like they only they wanted to get with black men to have black babies because I think a part of them in some type of way
wish they were
want to be black.
Oh, they have definitely. Yes, they have definitely procreated and used the black community and came up off of copying off the black community for so many years. So much so, I think some people forget that they're not black. You know?
Yeah.
I think they sometimes forget that they're not black. These aren't Armenians. They're not.
They remember. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm so excited. The only time they remember they're black is when Kim Kardashian rocking braids or something, and then they'd be like, "Oh, you're snatching the black culture," but they've been actually doing it. Like they've been doing it in front of our faces for the longest. I think a lot of races they don't want to admit it, but I think they really love our culture, the black African American culture.
They do,
but they just don't want to deal with what we deal with. They'd rather just not deal with that part, but deal with the other. You know, if they could just not be they want to be white when it's time for them to be white with the white privilege card,
right?
But they don't want to deal with the issues that when we have our issues and you know racism and all the things that we go to. Kim Kardashian just was not Kim Kardashian, her sister Khloe. She was just under fire because not too long ago she said something about when she was making a joke. What was that joke? It was. Do you know what I'm talking about, Keisha? She made a joke about we are the KKK.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
she
we're
said
the KKK. That. She was meaning that you know Kim Kardashian, but we just it was just not funny because you know what the KKK represents.
Yeah, she acted like she didn't know what it was.
Get away with that joke.
Yeah. Yeah, she tried to get by with that.
But I'm so excited. Let me just tell you, Keisha, I absolutely love your channel.
Oh, thank you.
I found your channel like 3 years ago on YouTube, The Truth Show. And I'm just so upset that you don't get the recognition that you do get because, like, you're one of the people that actually started out with I think a lot of people was copying off your style, the way you came. And then I saw, like, other YouTubers doing what you was doing. So a lot of people mimic you, and I just feel like I don't like the way YouTube has done you. I just feel like we could, as the subscribers, could put out some type of, position. What is it called? Petition? A petition out.
Yeah.
To.
I'm definitely going to have it investigated, but I can't right now because I need my computer, and they want to confiscate my computer to investigate it to see if it has been hacked. You know the whole deal. And I can't right now, so I'm trying to save up to get a new computer so they can go ahead and just do what they want with this computer. That's what I'm trying to do. But it's definitely in the works because you guys don't know what I saw in terms of hacking, but there has been a lot of hacking going on with my channel. But
yeah, I remember when your dude, like, now, like, I don't mean that, like, you always had, like, a lot of views. Like, I know they're doing something with your channel.
Oh, they are definitely doing some stuff. They're doing some shady stuff,
especially with the Truth Show. Like, when you dropped the video within the hour with the Truth Show, you used to have, like, 100K within the hour. Your views was really up there. So I know they're doing something with your channel.
Right.
I said that alone. I think they're doing something with her channel. Like, I don't know why. I feel like people like to have control over a lot of people's situations. I feel like that's not right. They give the views to who they want to give it to. And that's not right.
That's true. That's true. A lot of people who talks the way I talk don't really get a lot of views anyway. But that's definitely going to change. That's all I got to say. I mean, if I got to be the one to lead the path of many victims of this kind of sabotaging and blackballing, whatever you want to call it, then I'll just be the person leading it, because it needs to be brought to the forefront. Subjects being overshadowed and thrown in the back burners, and other subjects is being put on the front line. And that kind of thing needs to be definitely looked at and needs to be talked about. And if I got to be the person, sacrificial lamb to make it talked about, then that's how it's going to be. Then I don't mind being that. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
I hope not.
They recognize how much you bring a lot of viewers. You do bring a lot of people to YouTube. Like, you had me on my feet, like, oh, did she put up a chat? Did she put up a video? I'm so nervous talking to you, Keisha, by the way.
Oh, girl, please. Really Thank you for your love, though.
I got my daughter subscribing to you. I had got my cousin to subscribe to you. It was like, they really love your channel. I'm really like a fan of you. I look at you as one of the YouTube celebrities. For really. I know you don't look at yourself like that.
No, I don't.
But I really do.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your love. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay safe.
That's one thing I did want to ask you about Keisha.
Yep.
I kind of had just got off of work and I just logged in, but I did caught into where you said something because I wanted to know. I didn't understand why they was having a war. I heard something about gas prices.
Yeah.
Do you know why they having a war right now?
That's the point. As I was saying, in the last few years, during this whole downfall of Trump, and when he didn't win the re-election, it looked like he didn't win the re-election, Putin has exceedingly went up on his price per barrel for oil. $100 per barrel.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't know why he's doing this. I have no idea why I don't know why he's doing this, but it has been some kind of alliance, in terms of the American people and our members of our NATO trying to come to some agreement with Putin, who always threatened World War III, whatever, but he's not explaining why he's doing this. All we know that there was some Russia tampering with the election with Trump. Okay? And yes.
I remember that.
And then when all his people got exposed and indicted and pretty much kicked out of the White House and that whole thing, I guess he figured, okay, I can't get in to the U.S. to dominate and take over that way, then screw it, be going to war. That's the only thing I can think of. I think all he wants is dominance. He wants power. He just want to take over the U.S., because the U.S. is kind of like the hub of this whole NATO agreement with all the other countries providing some kind of military alliance just in case something like this happens. And he was a part of that agreement, but he got kicked out of that agreement. Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ukraine provides kind of like the pipeline through their country to supply the oil for the rest of the world. Not all of the world, but most of the world. And his oil is also using Ukraine pipeline as well. And he said, okay, screw it. I just go ahead and blow up Ukraine, take over the pipeline and the shipment of my oil through the rest of the country, because that way they have to go through me for this oil, and that'll give me one step closer to what I want. This could be his way of thinking, is what he's trying to do. So I don't know.
Wow.
That could be
crazy. I hope they come to agreement and he stopped, because they actually hurt innocent people's lives. I saw that the death toll rose up. It was like 100 and something, then it rose up again.
Yeah,
so he said he wasn't killing anybody, but they did kill some people.
He's killing soldiers, which there are people too. I mean, they're not mutants, but there are people too.
Yeah,
he's killing soldiers, not citizens, and they're and that's what he's doing. They're blowing up buildings and things of that nature. That's what he's doing currently as a warning. I'm assuming that's what he's doing, but they're hoping they can stop him at the head, and they don't come to that, because they're pretty much crippling his whole financial infrastructure down in Russia. I mean, he's going broke with this. Connections that he had with the rest of the world is now pulled out, and they're hoping he just finally just say, okay, screw it, I'm done. But we'll see. We just gotta pray.
But I did read somewhere that China was along with it, but they backed out at the last minute. Is that true?
China wasn't alone with it, because China is not a part of NATO. Japan is, but China is basically offering some kind of refuge for the Ukraine people. They're saying, okay, if you guys need some safe refuge, we'll go ahead and provide that. So they were sending in ships to get some of their Ukraine people out of that country. But they probably, I don't know if they got scared or whatever. I'm not sure. I didn't read any further, but they were offering safe haven for the Ukraine citizens. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep them in my prayers. But Keisha, it was so good talking to you. Oh my God, problem. You just made my day that I actually talked to you.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you too. Thanks. Tell your family. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate everyone's support. Everyone who's been here throughout this entire crazy freaking live feed. Thank you so much. Okay? And pray for Ukraine and everyone. Okay? And be safe.
I will. And you have the best channel on YouTube ever.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. I wish that was true. Okay. But thank you.
That is so true. You know what? I always realize you don't really give yourself enough credit. You deserve so much more than what you're getting, Keisha. And that is just my sadness to you. The way you break down to your customers, I'm saying customers, I'm not at work, but your subscribers.
Yeah, I get it, girl.
You really go into details and describe things to where we can understand in your videos. That's why I love your videos.
I try to.
I just love this channel. And you and your daughter, when y'all do the little show, I love that too. It haven't been for a while, but I hope y'all, and I want you to do your stories.
We are.
But I don't want to hold you up. I know you have other subscribers that probably want to call in. But thank you again, Keisha. And we appreciate everything you're doing. We love you.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Thank you. You have a good day, okay?
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I think I'm going to end it here. I'm just going to read some comics, I'm not going to do any more calls because we've been in the show for about an hour, some change. I want to keep you guys too long here. Let's see what you're saying. Skypunk. Hello, guys, from Alternative Living. Hold on. Take off this on the call thing. Here we go. Move this over here. Okay. Here we go. I'm reading comments. Okay. What happened with Hunter? Oh, okay, we already talked about it. Hello, guys from Alternative Living, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. All these people are on the same one power with America, China, Russia, Germany. China is not really a part of the NATO. Japan is. Yeah. Japan is, though. Oh, and the UK. Africa isn't. I think maybe a little part of Africa, but Africa isn't. Africa have their own resources. They don't need America. They're doing the sanctions, but it's not working. You know, he hasn't really stopped. They're hoping if they cut off his... You know, I don't want to speak too much about what they're trying to do, because I feel like I'm delivering the plan I don't want to, and I don't want to do that. I want to stop talking about it, because I'm getting kind of scared here. But just think like a person who's in war, and you're trying to stop someone from going in war with you, and it's all about money. Just think like them. That's all I can say. I'm going to end it here. Thanks for all those who stayed throughout the duration of this live feed. I love you guys. Remember, in the next 48 hours, I'm going to be posting on my Patreon a lot of videos that I have not posted yet. A little live personal video for me as well. I'm going to put that on there as well. Some TikTok videos that I really want you guys to see. I'm going to try to deliver one more true history lesson. They demonetized, flagged my last true history lesson. I believe it was number 5. I'm not getting paid for that one. So anyway, yeah, I haven't really talked about a hacking thing because I can't talk about it for legal purposes. But anyway, all I'm saying is that stay prayed up. If you are my patron, be expecting a lot of alerts within the next 48 hours or 72, because I'm coming at you guys. And this live feed as well. So the buffering that happened, it won't happen. I'll give you a nice little live show without all this buffering, okay? Thank you for staying out the duration of this feed. I love you guys. Bye.